Okay, so the next item we got for today, this is going to be also a part 1, part 2. This is a what's called a pre-engaged 150 BM Ingersoll Rand air starter, because as soon as you hit the trigger, the Bendix worm gear turns, Bendix gear gets thrown into the flywheel, and the engine starts. So that's how that works. What we're going to do, we're going to punch this item to make sure we keep our orientations correct. We're going to put dimples on it. That way we know exactly where to line it up when it goes back together. This is also at the customer's request, because when they send these in, they have to go back on the same engine they came from. So we have to make sure that the orientations of all the parts are in the same direction that it was taken apart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 2 punches here. And the reason I'm going to do 2 punches here and 1 punch here is so I know that they get the rotor housing in the right orientation. It really doesn't matter, but I want to make sure I don't want to put 1 punch and end up with this exhaust port up here. So this way it all matches up, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, so that we can keep ourselves straight, keep ourselves going. So pardon the camera angles here, I'm still adjusting these things, but yeah, just to keep things rolling, we are going to use, what we're going to do, we're going to make this the easy way. We're going to take this and we're going to put this in our vise. Put this in our vise. We're going to get our 9/16 on our impact. And we're going to take this off. Make sure our vise is tight enough. Get our bolts off. And bolts. We go into our pan. Pans make a world of difference. Bear with me for a minute here. Sometimes these things get a little rusted up. This one don't really rust. I mean, this particular starter is aluminum. But as you can see, it's falling apart, and it happens. The vane system on this thing, yeah, the vanes are shot. There's one under the rotor, you can see there. They're worn badly. They're supposed to take up the whole length of the hole, and they don't. They're all worn. You can see how deep it is in there, up in there. So you have it's supposed to come all the way to the top of this groove, but it don't. See how deep it is. And you get that out of there. These are made of a type of fiberglass or something like that. I don't know what it's made out of. But okay, now we'll just lightly tap our housing until we get it out of here. Right, so the bearing is no good. There's a gasket here to stop airflow. It's ate up. This is the cover for our pre-pack bearing. It's no good. Need another snap ring pliers. Another snap ring pliers in here, I believe, right here. That should do what I need it to do. So we can go ahead and get this snap ring off of here. These things be a pain in the butt sometimes. They're so small to deal with. Okay. So we'll keep all our snap rings. They do come in a kit. Bearing still looks new, but it will be changed and then we're good. This is your end plate. When your air comes in through one of these holes right here, depending on what your rotation is, air goes through those two small holes and comes out right here and gets under the vanes and causes the vanes to expand inside of the rotor. And that way it makes it a much faster start. Because once they expand inside the rotor, then it can engage and spin without too much air blow by. So we'll save our parts. This is our end plate. These starters are all aluminum, so they're not very big. This is a 150 BM pre-engaged. So all this is going to be all sandblasted and clean. This one here doesn't have any O-rings to hold it in the housing. It just sits in there. But sometimes the housings are aluminum, they get a little warped. And right off the bat, you can tell this rotor is no good. This rotor cage is damaged. You can see the piece missing out of it. And that's why our vanes broke. So this is no good. I have another one. We'll put that one aside and we'll put it on the add-ons for the customer and let them know what happened to that. Throw away our parts. This is lightweight aluminum. Now we have here, we have our Bendix drive housing. Readjust a little bit. We are going to get our, so make sure you keep this pin. This pin keeps your two end plates and your rotor housing all in one place where it's supposed to be. Without it, everything just spins free inside the starter and it doesn't work right. All old bearings go to the trash. We will take this Bendix housing back out. Okay. Trying to keep my view here. You know what I'm doing. We are going to get our 1/4" ratchet set here. This is a reality thing, man. I don't BS nobody. I don't try to pull no wool over nobody's eyes. We're not going to show you something that we think is going to, you know, that you think, oh, this is elaborate or extravagant or it takes too much. No, this is the real deal. This is what happens. And this is how it's done. This is the everyday life of a mechanic shop behind the scenes, rebuilding components. Like I said, whatever comes through that door, we're going to rebuild it. There are some things that I don't work on, but there's a lot of things that I do work on. We have guys in the front that do machining and heads and valves, and they do block honing and resurfacing and shaving and things that I don't do. They handle automotive stuff, but they also handle industrial stuff. We deal with some pretty heavy items over here sometimes. Pretty much any type of head that comes through the door, we can redo it. But certain components over here, certain fuel system and stuff, we don't do because we don't have the tooling and we don't have the test equipment to do it. So, besides, the majority of our customers have certain engines anyway that we're prepared for. So, you know, you be in business long enough and it gets set up the way that you need it set up. But we're going to take out all these 1/4" bolts and get this Bendix housing apart. And mind you, when we're going to go back to this on a part 2, it's going to be a part 2 because I still got to order kits for all this stuff. When we go back with this on a part 2, all these holes are going to be tapped and cleaned up and ready to go. I'm not going to bore y'all with the cleaning process of some of this stuff because it would be too lengthy of a video. But I'll show you the disassemblies and reassemblies and what to look for. And if you have any bad parts, we'll point those out. You might hear that noise in the background. That's a shaker. So we throw rocker arms, springs, bolts, bridges, rocker carriers, any of the other parts. Throw them in there, and it's aluminum pellets with an oil base, and it polishes everything nice and clean. So when you take it out, you just rinse it off in some clean Varsol and you're good to go. But it knocks all the junk and crud off of them. So it's very, very helpful when cleaning what we need to clean. We also do have a soda blaster here. For those of you not familiar with it, it's like a sand blaster you put your arms in, but it's baking soda, and it's for the critical stuff. So like this Bendix drive, you really can't take this Bendix drive right here apart to clean it. So we'll soak it, get the oil off of it, then we'll go hit it with a soda blaster, and the soda can be easily washed out with a cleaner. And it's not like a sand. It'll do a job. It'll clean job. It'll clean the part if we needed to, without putting abrasive in it. But this will come apart. This Bendix comes off of here. There's no bolt or anything that holds that. It's just a spline that fits on this shaft. And that's all it does. You have a little bit of a loose. It's held in by this one screw. You can take all this apart if you need to, but we don't need to. There's no need to. It all still functions correctly. And the teeth are not bad or wore or broken, so we're just going to clean all this up, and she'll go back. But yeah, we'll get this cleaned up and hit it in a soda blaster and get it all clean. This housing is just an empty housing. However, we will inspect the bushing and change it if we need to. It's a bronze bushing. That's all there is. A little bit of oil added to it. Just nothing spectacular. That's going to go in the hot vat. Going to get this cage open here. And this cage here holds grease in the gear side of things. So you see the greasy spot. And there's a lip seal here. Can't see it. Actually you can. This is part of it. Like it's all pretty nasty. We'll get that popped out of there after a while. This part just pops out. There is a copper spacer washer that holds this in place for like a thrust bearing. And there is a needle bearing in here. This needle bearing has a bolt hole in it. To put a bolt in it, you can extract it with a wrench or an impact or whatever it needs to be. This keeper came off of the gear that came off of the end of the rotor. There is a gear that goes on here, and this keeper is here. That's why it fell apart when I took it off, because this keeper came apart and it wasn't supposed to. Which the gear is still in behind this end plate. I'm going to work on getting this end plate out of here in just a few minutes. In fact, you can see a gear right here, and it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be on the shaft. On the shaft right here. But we'll work on that here in just a few minutes. The bearing is still in there as well, but we'll get that out. We will get that out. Okay, so here's a 5/16 bolt. Just screwed it into this hole. It's going to take a 1/2-inch socket right here. We'll go in the forward and just like that, and it pulls it out. So you just unscrew the washer back off of it, And then you get a new needle bearing that's going to come in the kit. You're also going to have another washer with a hole in it. You drop your washer in first and install your bearing. And it'll be the same process next time you need to rebuild it. And being it stays greasy, it's usually pretty easy to take out. But all these right here, this all goes to the trash. But all that comes with the new kit. Okay, so now we're going to work on getting this plate out of here. Don't look like it's stuck too bad. I think we can, yeah, we can work that out of here without beating anything up. Yeah, I think it'll come out pretty easy. It's just that the snap ring came off at the end of the shaft and messed us all up. Yeah, there we go. So we got that plate free. And we can get the gasket is no good. We're going to work on getting the bearing out. Okay, so the bearing is out of the hole. Bearings go to the iron. Snap ring will keep it. One does come in the kit, but we'll keep it just in case. And all of this is going to go into the hot vat, just like it is. Once the kit comes in, I'll show you the process of pressing off the old bearing and the gear from this shaft in order to change the bearing. You get behind this thing to get it off of here. Well, it doesn't want to act right. I got something to make it act right. There we go. Pretty clean. See? Get rid of the grease. It comes right off. We'll save it just in case, but it does come with the kit. Alright, so this is going to be a conclusion of a teardown of a 150 BM Ingersoll Rand air starter. And we'll catch you on the next item that we tear down. This is going to be part 1, so stay on the lookout for part 2 when I get the kit. Thank you.